gosh, oh my goodness, look at it all. Oh,
Frantic.
yeah. Oh, the leucistic ones here.
It'd be nice.
Hello and welcome to this video where not only are we at a pretty amazing location, we're actually going to be joining another photographer, Ashley Barnard, who you may know as Wildlife Photographer UK. So we have come down to the Gigrin Farm Red Kite Feeding Centre, and it's going to be my first time here and I am really excited. There are so many kites around already and the feeding hasn't even started yet.
So we've checked in, got our tickets, and we're here at the Red Kite Centre. And the weather is looking absolutely superb. I don't know which camera to look at. There are red kites everywhere at the moment. I've never been here. I mean, I've been here twice before, and we've seen red kites, probably about half a dozen. But at the moment, there must be 50 already here an hour before feeding time. So I think we're in for a good show, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, this is your first time here, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
I've never seen so many kites in one location before, and like you said, they haven't even put the food out yet. So
no, it is. I just love the sound of them, that calling.
yeah,
it's so unique, isn't it? You hear that and you know straight away, red kite. I mean, a lot of birders, they know the sound of a bird, and I hear birds chirping, but I won't be able to say, oh, that's a blackbird or a thrush or a goldcrest or anything like that. But I know a robin now.
Yeah.
I've been doing photography now 15 years. And it was just, oh, there's some deer there, take a picture. And that was it for me. And then I started, and then I've been doing it 3 years. But no, it is one of those aspects of photography, I think, that it's a genre that will never get old. Doesn't matter how many times we go out. You can go out to the same field day after day and have a different experience, I think, depending on obviously the field, I suppose, and where that is. But no, it is, and it's hard work.
Yes.
Isn't it? I don't think if you don't like the outdoors, you don't like getting wet, cold, sitting on cold ground for hours, it's not for you, is it?
No.
Yeah, I mean, you can always go and sit and hide.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I like to go find the wildlife. I don't know about you, whether
I mean
you've only been doing it a year.
Yeah. So it's been a bit of a mix for me, I think. So I've been to a hide when we were up in Scotland to see pine marten. So it's for something like specific, like that. And
I think for something like that, you have to go to a hide, unless you've got them local, where you can set up your own sort of little area.
Yeah. So I think I do like going to the hides, and I think they do have their place, like I said, for me, for seeing the pine marten, but also I've been to one to see a kingfisher as well. But also just getting out, and I think just sitting out, there's nothing nicer really for me than sitting out in a field just with my camera. Yeah. It's just, and even sometimes, I mean, it's wildlife, so it's not guaranteed to turn up, is it? But when it does, if you've been sitting out there for ages and you're just like, oh yes,
that one encounter, that minute or 30 seconds when that animal comes out, you get the shot and you're like, that 8 hours of wet, cold, miserable, it's gone, paled into significance. It's just, it doesn't exist after that. And you're like, yep, done, let's go home. Yeah.
So, no, it's just, and there's something magical just about being able to sit out and just see, what amazing stuff we have here. I mean, I recently just been photographing birds in the garden, and I feel like, you see blue tits all the time, but actually, do you really look at them and actually photographing them? It's just like,
I couldn't agree more. Could not agree more with that statement, that we all take the common bird, the sparrow, the robin, the goldfinches, the things that you have in your garden for granted. Yeah. But I think if you just take the time and stopped and spent a few hours photographing a blue tit in a tree, I think you get some stunning photos. And you work on the lights, you work on your composition. Yeah. And I think there's a place for that, for just photographing wildlife in your garden, and not taking the wildlife for granted, that it's just a sparrow or just a blue tit.
It's just amazing. Look at them all. I'm gonna have to make sure I don't get too overwhelmed when we get into the hide and just be just like, oh.
I know there must be 100 up there now.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I think it's gonna be pretty full on down at the hide. I think.
Yeah.
I think for anybody starting with wildlife photography, I think my biggest tip is just be patient.
Yes.
You know, yes, watch other YouTube videos, learn what you can. There are some really good books out there as well. I have just been sent a book. Somebody's recommended a book to me and I bought it. It cost me £3. I can't remember the name of it, but I will put that in the description. And it's all about fieldcraft and how to identify wildlife, how to find wildlife and stuff like that. And something like that, I've only read probably about half the book, but what an eye-opener. Because it really does, it's so obvious. When you read it, you're like, well, of course. Why wouldn't you do that? Or why wouldn't you look there? You know, and especially when it comes down, a lot of people go out and I think you go out and you photograph the wildlife, and I personally was a bit hesitant when it came down to camouflage clothing.
Yeah.
And wearing all all the stuff because you look a bit of a Burke, as it were. Or people go, what's he doing? You know, we're not in Africa or something. But it's all about hiding your form.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the smell. The wildlife recognise the human shape. So the more you can disguise your shape, the better chance you've got of seeing the wildlife. Because that's what smell and sight, the first two things, and it's the shape of a human that they identify. So wearing ghillie suits and all sorts of branches sticking out from your rucksack and stuff is the way to do it. But patience, and obvious things like looking on fence posts for bird droppings. When you go down to the river, are there any bird droppings on the stones in the middle of the river? Because if there are, then it's likely that something like a dipper is flying up and down and resting and sitting on these stones. So if you wait long enough, something will show up on the river. Now, one thing I did last year with the dippers was I sat on the edge of the river and the dippers were flying back and forth up and down the river. Yeah. And depending on which way they flew, with the leaves in the mouth, told me which way the nest was.
Oh, that's a good shout.
So I watched the dippers and they were flying up river with the leaves, and I went to follow them up the river to a spot where they no longer appeared. They just obviously were flying. And then they may come up past me, but with no leaves in, so I knew where the nest was.
Okay.
So then I could situate myself at a reasonable distance away from the nest and just spend the entire season photographing the dippers.
Amazing.
And you can do that with a lot of birds and a lot of wildlife, is study them, watch them, learn from them, and then, approach with caution and photograph them. Yeah. And it's things like that you learn all the time. I mean, I only learned that last year. Yeah. And, I'm hopefully got another 10 years doing this at least.
Yeah, because for me, as someone who's still relatively new, it's learning how to find the animals,
where they are,
what to look out for, and all that. So that's where I'm going to try and focus more on. Yeah.
But you will need to learn the secret handshake, because there is a secret underground conspiracy or underground group that only gets information passed from one wildlife photographer to another. So, I mean, I'm not in that group yet. Oh. So unfortunately, I can't tell you where to go find anything. But you do find that people will be very reluctant to tell you where the wildlife is, and for good reason too. I think if you're trustworthy and responsible and reliable, and you're not going to put it out on social media, then I don't see the harm in telling you, oh, there's some short-eared owls at this location. Yeah. Keep it to yourself, enjoy it. Yeah. And I would be more than happy to do that, because I know you, and I know that you wouldn't go and let that out, whereas some people, oh, I've been on Facebook in this wood and there are owls or badgers here, and that's not what you want to do, really.
I think it's going to be about trying to build relationships with people like yourself, where it's like you've got a mutual trust of sharing information and stuff like that. So need to work on that, but also my field craft. So I'm gonna have to get into that book that you've got.
Yeah, it really is a really good book, and I can't believe I've forgotten the name of it, but I will put it in the description. I'll send you a link to it as well. I don't think you can actually buy it from a normal bookshop. You've got to buy like second hand.
That's fine.
But yeah,
for me, I'm raring to get out to that hide now, seeing them all around.
Yeah, your feet are tapping under the table. And there's plenty of red kites around. So, and we've got a bit of blue sky, the odd little snow shower. So yeah, looking forward to a good day.
Yeah.
Should we get going?
I think so.
Let's do it. Yeah, so we're just making our way down to the hide. Once Joe stops crying, the sun's making it cry. Oh, the cold. Yeah, we've got half a moon. I don't know where you call it. It's not crescent moon, is it? It's crescent moon? Half a moon. Half a moon. And we've set a challenge to get a red kite perfectly with the moon behind it. That's our challenge we set each other. But we're not going to focus all our energy on that because we'll miss half of it if we just do that. But if we're lucky, we'll try that. Yeah.
It's much more open than I thought this hide was going to be. I had visions of it like being inside with like just a shooting hole, but I'm glad I brought the second coat with me now. We'll have to see who spots the leucistic one first.
Well, if we see that.
If we see it.
If we see that first.
Now, leucism is an abnormal condition that affects various animals and causes a lack of skin pigment, making the affected animal appear paler and more white in its plumage or fur.
So do they actually feed them out in this field? Where do they put the food?
Yeah, the guy will come in with a tractor full of meat, and then he'll shovel it and throw it out onto the grass, and then all hell will break out.
Yeah, Jess coming in with the food now, and it has gone absolutely bonkers here. There's literally red kites absolutely everywhere. Ah, yeah! Oh, the leucistic ones here.
And unfortunately, I can't find it now. Here it is.
Gosh, oh my goodness, look at it all. Oh,
it's frantic.
It's quite overwhelming, I think, with just how many they are at the moment. It's just, oh my goodness. It's like a red kite tornado.
I don't know how to say that. The white, I'm just going to call it the white one.
Yeah. Okay, right. I've not taken a photo yet. Just taking it all in.
I know. Well, the meat will go out and it will calm down. You'll be able to get better shots. Absolutely.
Now, you see this face? Well, that is the face of someone who is incredibly overwhelmed by the whole situation and just froze up and still hasn't taken a photo. Thankfully, I eventually managed to compose myself and start taking images.
Okay, right. Oh, yeah. I got him.
Now, what actually made me start to take my photos was spotting that leucistic kite, as it stood out from the others, and it gave me something to focus my attention on, rather than trying to pick one of the others from the mass of kites around.
I hit my buffer.
You hit your buffer.
Truly remarkable, isn't it? The yard is so graceful.
Oh, I got photo bombed by another one. It's absolutely mental.
Well, I made short work of that. Literally took me all of it. And usually there's loads left. There's nothing left.
They've obviously eaten pretty much all the food that's already been put out. They'll hang around for a long while after.
Yeah, they'll fly around and see what scraps are.
Yeah.
Oh, flying in. They're even flying into each other, aren't they?
Yeah.
Hitting each other. It'd be nice.
Oh, it's quite intimidating having them flying at you.
It's fair to say my tactic of slowing down and focusing my attention on the leucistic kite worked, and I got some photos that I am really proud of.
It certainly is a spectacle to behold, isn't it? It's almost like being on the cliffs at the coast when in the breeding season you've got the gannets and all the seabirds. Well, I think if you just point at the moon, you're bound to get one.
Oh, that's a good shout. I just can't get my head around that these are all kites and it's not like you're in a town and it's just pigeons.
Yeah.
It feels like, I mean, although a pigeon is nothing on a kite, sorry pigeon lovers, but that's what it sort of feels like with the amount that I hear and just how close they're getting.
It is truly incredible.
It gets heavy after a while, doesn't it?
Your arms start to feel it.
Yeah, I mean this Sony lens as well.
Yeah.
It's a hefty.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm hoping they're going to come out with a Mark II. Makes you want to go to Canon just for the weight, doesn't it? It's amazing, and just like that, it's just calmed down. Well, now the meat's gone.
Nice that white one just came in and sat.
Yeah.
But it's so nice to see, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. I think on their website they were saying there's only about 10, I think, in, I don't know if it's the world, I know they just said it was like 10. They've got 3 that visit here.
Right.
Which is pretty cool. That was just spectacular. Okay, right. I've not even looked to see if I've got anything yet.
You, honestly, when you get back, There'll be some pictures there that you'll just think, oh my gosh, where it'll be looking straight down the lens.
That's what I'm hoping.
So sharp in the eyes.
Oh, got a picture of the roof there.
You're swinging around a bit far.
Just a bit, literally, like half of the roof.
I'd say it's like now you can sort of like just home in on the one bird.
Yeah.
And just try and get that one shot.
Yeah.
Where it looks at you, but when you look through all your images, there'll be action shots, there'll be just shots.
Yeah. I mean, what am I up to? Oh, hang on. I think I've not done too badly. I've done 87. I don't machine gun it, I think.
747.
I did like 10%.
Is that all you've took?
Yeah, 87.
You've took 87 pictures?
Yeah, I've not gone. Or it's either a good move or a bad move.
Bad move.
I've,
If you're only taking like one or two,
yeah.
it's the difference between blinking
okay.
or looking at you and not looking at you.
Okay, well.
You can always come back.
Yeah.
Like I say, this is my third time, so I do have a couple of shots that I've kept.
Yeah.
That are just like, yeah, I love them.
Oh my, I went straight over.
Is when it puts in your lens.
Oh, can you imagine that? I've got a big thing on as well. So I should probably address my shooting style. For me, my background is in photographing mountain bikers and then editing and uploading the images the same day. So I've worked out a pretty good method for that, and I can generally take one image of each rider in each location, so I don't have too many photos to edit later. And that is what I was choosing to do here, to slow myself down and take less images so I didn't get too overwhelmed. Now that does have its issues, as Ash has sent me a brilliant sequence he caught and merged together in Photoshop of a kite diving, which is something I just don't have from my images. But that being said, I am really happy with what I have captured, and while I don't have as many photos as others may do from a day here, for me that is okay. So now the main feeding is over and it's all quietened down, it's a bit easier to focus on sort of more of the individuals than what it was. It was just a bit frantic, I found earlier. It was quite full on. Also, I feel that I might have made a mistake already in that we've just compared how many photos we've taken, and I've literally, at the time, did 87 and Ash had done over 700. So I might have regretted my decision not to be a bit more trigger happy. I missed a few shots, but it's just amazing to see them all. It's just such a good place to come and attempt to get some good photos. And for me, thankfully, it's only it's just over an hour away and it's not overly expensive. So if I did balls it up, then I can come back and have another try.
You sort of got to readjust your eyes when you bring the camera down again. So how did you find that, Joe?
Full on.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, I knew it was going to be quite full on, but I didn't realise just how overwhelming I was going to find it. No, it was amazing to see them all. And yeah, like now it's gone a bit quieter. I feel that
it's more manageable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can now spend a bit of time just focusing on one particular bird as it's
Yeah.
coming in, and hope to get up your shutter count.
Yeah. But I mean, how about you? Obviously, like you said, this is your third time here now, so.
Yeah, every time's a challenge.
Yeah.
It always is, and it's always an experience. I just love to photograph the red kite. I mean, that's like I said earlier, the red kite's one of my favourite birds, and to see areas and centres like this that are doing so much good work and to reintroduction to the red kites. And if you look back to the 18th, 19th century when they were on the brink of extinction, and now you can see them nearly almost all over the UK.
Yeah.
It is truly incredible. It's just so nice to see when I go out walking in Yorkshire or wherever it is, and a red kite flies overhead, you're like, yes.
Yeah.
It's just so nice to see. So will you be coming back?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You bring your partner.
Yeah.
See what he makes of it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just a brilliant sight to see, even if you're not photographing, just to witness that. That's just amazing.
I mean, it's one of these places that if I'm going down to Skomer, I make a point of just calling in on the way. You know, it's just, well, I'm going through Wales. Slight detour and see how the red kites are doing. And
Although I didn't take as many as what I probably should have done, the ones that I've looked at
but
so
you do
far,
have some good keepers there.
I'm quite happy with. Oh look, you can see it's like funny.
Yeah.
What's that one? The island. It's the third island. That bit. You know what I'm talking about.
It's protective.
Oh, I got a moon.
3 of them in the moon, surrounding the moon.
That's quite cool. No, it's been absolutely brilliant.
It has, hasn't it?
So happy with like the images that I've got, and
it's nice to be able to do it with somebody like-minded.
Yeah.
You know, you both of you bouncing off each other. And
yeah. Oh, for sure.
Enjoying it. It's just something I thought of doing. I thought, oh, why not? You know, go meet a stranger.
Yeah.
The sun's come out and they're coming back out.
Oh.
Let's go and just another minute or two.
Now, getting some video of the kites was much harder than I thought. Off the gimbal, I had to deal with my wobbly arms, and on the gimbal, being able to find and then track the kites was causing me issues, as well as the floor that was now beginning to ice up, though I did manage to get a few clips. So I think that is going to be it from us here at Gigrin Farm. It's been absolutely amazing and I've had just a great time. So thank you very much for inviting me out.
Thank you for coming along.
Thank you. And yeah, do remember to check out Ashley's channel. There'll be links in the description as well as at the end of this video. And I shall see you in the next one. Back to back, like Charlie's Angels. No? Who sticks longest?
I was about to say one that. Want your camera? Oh, sorry.